Hey everyone, welcome to another Ask Katrina. This question is, Katrina, I am doing a ton of work at work, but I'm getting feedback that I'm not properly performing. What is wrong? As always, another great question. The simple answer is this. Whatever you think you're doing that should generate performance, it's not what you should be doing. The problem isn't the outside world. The problem isn't that people aren't appreciating what you're providing. The problem is, honestly, it's you. I hate to say that. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but I'm always going to speak the truth. And so that's the reality. Because here's the deal. Here's what a lot of us don't understand. And I can raise my hand and I can include myself in this statement because I used to be in exactly this place as well. Okay? I used to be in this exact same place. And it's this. We get so busy being busy. We get so busy doing things to show that we're busy that we forget the fact that the purpose of us showing up and being that executive leader or being that business owner or whatever it is that we are, right? Middle manager getting ready to go to an executive. Okay. We forget that the reason why we exist, the whole entire reason why our role exists in the organization is to add value. That's why we're there. As leaders, we exist to add value to the company. And we do that by performing specific tasks, taking very specific actions, leading teams, providing information, using our gifts, right? All of those things and more. Those are ways in which we can add value. But at the end of the day, what we tend to confuse, again, is that busyness doesn't equal performance. Adding value equals actual performance in the eyes of the organization. Because the company wants you to add value to it. And the company defines what is valuable. So just because you're showing up early, working late, taking on projects, doing all the extras, and staying busy doesn't mean that you're performing. It doesn't mean that you're adding value. So what you must do is first make that realization, right? Recognize that. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, I'm busy, but am I busy doing the right things? Or am I busy doing the things that I think are important? Because you probably know by now, the reality of it is that when you work for a company, when you work for an organization, it's a machine. And it's going to keep moving. The organization expects you to step in line and move with it and add value. And if you don't, you're going to get feedback that says you're not performing, you're not adding value, we need you doing these things. And for you to raise your hand and say, but I'm busy, right? They're going to laugh at you. Great. I'm happy that you're busy. Toddlers are busy, right? And I'm not trying to demean any effort that you're putting forth. Please do not think that. I would never do that to you. But I just want it to sink in. This is so important. And this is what a lot of leaders miss, is that we equate busyness with performance. We equate sacrifice with performance. But we can sacrifice and be busy all day. It doesn't mean that we get to keep our jobs. It doesn't mean that we're going to get a raise. It doesn't mean that we're going to get promoted. And the people that lose their positions and are eliminated from the organization tend to look at the organization and say, I gave you everything. Why did you let me go? And the answer is because you didn't add value. And so a lot of people get disgruntled and they want to point the finger at the organization. Okay, maybe you don't have a supervisor that's making it super clear on what you should be doing, but that still falls on your shoulders to not ask, am I doing the right thing? You got to raise your hand and say, hey, what does the company need? What does the company need me to do right now? When you figure out how the company defines value and you start doing that, then you're performing. Then you're performing. And a lot of times what I see throughout someone's career is that through climbing and promoting, people knew very clearly how to perform because it was set in stone, right? Like you saw problems. You fix things, you make money, typically, right? Where a lot of leaders struggle is when they step into that executive rank and they are having to be thoughtful and strategic and lead through others and influence through words instead of actions. And that becomes very difficult. And so then we fall back on the doing portion instead of leading forward and stepping into the strategic leading through people portion of our careers. And so what I would say is to the person that asked the question, I want you to think about it and ask yourself, are you doing things that add value? Are the bulk of your actions adding value as defined by the organization? If yes, then you got to go have a conversation with your supervisor. You need to seek to understand because you're missing something. So just eliminate the gray. Go have the conversation and make it black and white. If you aren't doing the things that add daily value, then change your behavior. Instead of being busy, be intentional. That's how you move forward. That's how you solve that. So hopefully that helped. I look forward to answering the next question and helping you move forward in your executive career and help you continue to exec correctly.